Willow Creek Springs presents Healthy Living with your host, Joe Grumbine.
Well, hello and welcome to the Healthy Living Podcast. I'm your host, Joe Grumbine, and today we have back in our studio Dr. Robert Hoffman. Robert,
Hi,
welcome
everybody.
back.
Glad to be here.
It is always a pleasure to talk to you. We actually spent had a few hours together yesterday down in Dr. Song's office, and
Yeah, we were at the world's best oncologist's office yesterday.
I'm telling you, I want to talk a little bit about him because he's such a unique doctor. In my limited experience with cancer, which hopefully will remain limited, I've met a dozen oncologists, in my search for healing and management of this disease. And there was something very similar about all of them until I met Dr. Song. Dr. Castro, I think, was different than most of them, but
Yeah,
they were all the other ones were very pleasant, but disconnected, if I could maybe clarify it like that.
I think that's their survival mode, Joe,
Yeah, I never
because
felt.
all the patients die, and I think those kind of doctors, which are the majority of people, and it's understandable, disconnect.
Yeah,
It's a survival mechanism, I think.
I can appreciate that. If I was around a lot of people that were more or less likely to die on me, which is kind of the case for most people, I wouldn't want to get too close. I can.
Well, yeah, and not too close, and to kind of keep a distance where you don't blame yourself, or
Right.
it's a very complicated thing. I think being an oncologist is very rough, very, very rough.
But there's something that, and I think to some degree Dr. Castro has, but Dr. Song definitely has. It was
Well, Dr. Song it seems he's so devoted to saving the patient.
yes,
He cannot disconnect. I'm so impressed the way he treats you.
yes.
He's giving you this Keytruda way, way, way longer than anybody would, in my opinion, because he's seen too much cancer come back.
So let's backtrack a little bit because we always have first-time listeners, and for those of you who are new, I've told the whole story about my journey with squamous cell carcinoma from diagnosis to what they call complete remission.
To having a grapefruit on your neck.
Yeah, I had a complete grapefruit on my neck and one in the back of my tongue. I had a dragon in the back of my tongue and a grapefruit on my neck, and they were setting out to take over my body and not leave me alive in the end. And ultimately, we beat this thing, and I've got many episodes that tell that story. But in the last 2 months, I went to Japan and got a scan from a methionine PET scan, which is really, in my opinion, the only way to know for sure that at that moment I had no active disease. Everything's subject to change, but all the tools that we have, all the blood tests, all the MRIs, the different CTs, they don't tell you that you don't have active cancer. They just tell you that there's this activity or that activity, but it doesn't tell you what it is. So when I went to Japan and I got the all clear from Dr. Sato, he said with confidence, he said, I see complete remission. I see this is resolved. You don't have what you had anymore. And then he pointed out some other things that I need to look at, but this problem was solved for the moment. And most of the time, and why don't you take over from here? If I was at UCI or Sloan Kettering or any other major oncology department with that diagnosis or prognosis where they say you're done, what would happen?
Well, first of all, in your initial treatment at UCI, which is the University of California, Irvine, I think you were maybe a unique patient with squamous cell head and neck cancer, where they let you get neoadjuvant chemo without radiation.
Right.
They weren't going to let you get away with that, or
I know.
but you were sufficiently strong to say, I'm not going to get radiated. I guess they maybe were going to do surgery first and then
Right.
radiation and then adjuvant chemo, I guess. So
Right.
I would say in all the big places, the Sloan Ketterings, the MD Anderson, Dana-Farber, all the big ones and the hundreds of ones that follow them, absolutely, you would have had a mixture of surgery, radiation, and chemo, not necessarily in that order, but probably.
Right.
We have a patient, Greg, and unfortunately, he had also from squamous cell carcinoma originating in the tongue. And unfortunately, Greg got big radiation
Mm-hmm. Which
and
is most likely to be the
lost the ability to swallow.
right.
He's slowly regaining it. He mainly feeds himself through a tube to the stomach,
Right.
which is now low methionine. So if you were lucky, Joe, you
Right.
would have ended up like Greg.
Right.
Most of the people would have ended up with their whole side of the face taken out.
Yep.
Maybe a plate put in. Maybe you wouldn't want to go out anymore to have people look at you.
Probably not.
It's a horror show, that kind of cancer at those cancer centers. So in your journey, you started out with a major cancer center that's perhaps better than most of the majors, in that very nice lady oncologist you had let you have only chemo. When you
Right.
came back and said, I want more chemo, no way without radiation,
Couldn't do it.
and that's when we decided to go to Dr. Song. So, as Dr. Song says, I'm an independent private oncologist. I can pretty much do what I want. I don't have to follow the guidelines. He's not disobeying the FDA. He's not malpracticing. He's given all the drugs that he has given you are FDA approved.
And he
So
got insurance to cover it, so they wouldn't.
not only that, which is really unusual, because when you are off the guideline, it's often impossible to get insurance.
Yeah.
What is amazing to me now is that you keep getting Keytruda.
Yes.
I mean, it's incredible. And that's because of Dr. Song. So Dr. Song has been in this business way over 50 years. He knows everything. Not only, I mean, how to deal. I mean, you need to be not only a great doctor, you have to be a master at dealing with the insurance companies.
Right.
Which he is. So the feature of Dr. Song that impresses me the most is he doesn't want his patients to relapse.
Yes.
That's my impression. That's why he gives very high doses. He makes you suffer. No pain, no gain.
Right.
He doesn't want that cancer coming back. That's his feature. Now, I knew when I used to know him, there's like a 40-year gap between when I used to know him and I know him now. Back then, and maybe even now, I don't know, he was ostracized.
Yeah, that's what he told you.
Yeah, Tom Song, he gives really high doses, and I'm gonna stay away from him.
Yeah.
People just thought, kind of treated him as a crazy, but he's he's doing it right, and he survived all this time. And many of those guys who were criticizing him are now passed away.
Right.
At least 3 of them, who were the leading San Diego oncologists. They kind of had it was kind of a cartel. They kind of had it doing Scripps and Sharp and UCSD and blah, 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 blah. This was all back in the mid 80s. They're gone. They passed away. A couple of them are around, one anyway. But there's Dr. Song running around. He's 83 years old. And whenever you and I go there together, he never stops moving.
No.
He never sits down.
No.
He's going between all the different people there, getting infusions. He's got a wonderful oncology nurse, Twee, and she's so skilled, but he's the guy that does the last hookup.
But you see it, you watch it. He's the one that puts that needle in my port, and
The last hookup is his.
yeah, and he's the one that takes
everything.
it out. Yeah,
She prepares, but he hooks it in
every time.
every time, everyone.
He has never missed one.
Yeah. Joe, you never saw a doctor.
I never did.
No, and that's typical. The academic oncologist generally, and maybe I'm a bad guy for saying this, but I think cares much more about their academic career than they do of the patients. And they're real interested when there's a super trial or stuff that they think can advance their position in the university and also among their peers, and get invited to the meetings and become a big shot. Tom Song couldn't care less about being a big shot.
Agreed.
That it doesn't even enter his mind. And I don't know, he probably has a lot of money over all these years, but he walks around like a working
Never
man.
know it. Yeah, you'd never know it. He wears this
Little beanie and his little kind of working trousers there, the little top.
Yeah.
He walks around like a regular working man, doesn't try to look like a doc and nothing.
Oh.
And the knowledge in his brain of oncology is unimaginable. What he knows from his own experience with tens of thousands of patients over these more than 50 years. He knows everything. And
hi, this is Joe Grumbine, and I wanted to share an update. The platform that hosts this podcast has made some changes to the subscriber settings, and we have a number of subscriber-only episodes that we offer to the supporters, and for a minimum of $3 a month, we can get you signed up. And if you're already signed up and you're having some kind of trouble locating these episodes in the other platforms, I would say maybe the best answer is to unsubscribe and then resubscribe. I'm sorry for the hassle. I don't have any way to make a change, but I'm very grateful for all the support. Thank you.
Well, another thing that I've noticed about him, in spite of being willing to use very difficult drugs to solve a problem when necessary, he always, when I brought to him a symptom or a side effect or something I was dealing with, he always brings to me a natural answer rather than
natural answer, because he not only knows Western medicine,
he
knows Eastern medicine. Call it Chinese medicine, Korean medicine, Japanese medicine. They're similar. He knows Eastern medicine as well as Western medicine, which is very, very few people do.
And he's almost like in that way, like an osteopath, where they combine the different types of treatments. But in everything other than the chemo and the Keytruda, he's recommended ginseng, a hot foot bath, just different herbs, different
Eastern medicine, Joe.
Yeah. And so what an amazing thing. But here's
which has a 5,000-year history.
Exactly. And for all intents and purposes, his recommendations have been helpful. Yesterday I went in, I've had these horrible chapped lips where my lips were literally peeling off almost every day. And it happened 3, 4 months after I stopped the chemo. So I was like, I don't know what's going on, but I think it's somehow related because I've never had this problem in my life. And I talked to the nurse. She's like, I don't know. I haven't heard about that. I talked to Dr. Song. He's like, right away. He's like, yeah, that's probably the chemo. And his first answer is just get some extra virgin olive oil and rub it on there and keep putting it on. Or I can give you a steroid. And I'm like, no, I'll pass on the steroid. He's like, good, me too. And the personable element of that conversation.
So how's your lips after the olive oil?
So far, it's getting better, not worse. So I'm going to continue doing it. That's always been my MO. If it's getting better, not worse, keep doing what you're doing. And the other thing is like back around Christmas time, he went on a little vacation. And I always try to find a way to connect myself. The other doctors, I never was able to make a personal connection. In fact, my medical oncologist, I only saw her in person one time. Every other time was on a video. But when I asked him when he came back from his little vacation, I said, so how was it? He says, we didn't really go anywhere, but I discovered a new bread over at the Whole Foods market. And he told me about this bread he discovered because his wife had gotten a little sick and they decided not to go. But he shared that little moment with me. And so this last time I just got back from a little vacation. I took my 4-year-old grandson out fishing for the first time and he caught his first fish. I was able to show Dr. Sung that. He connected. He goes, yeah, I know where you're talking about. He knew the places I'd been. And I said, maybe one day we'll go fishing and bring our grandsons. And he looked at me and he smiled. And he says, yeah, maybe. And I got to think that, who knows, maybe one day we will. The odds are we probably won't, but.
Doesn't matter. But if you do, it's good. The main thing is not doing it. The main thing is connecting and talking about it.
Exactly. So anyways,
he was explaining the pictures on his wall to us.
Exactly.
He liked that Norman Rockwell. He liked it.
Yeah.
He's such a real, excuse me. He's the real deal, I tell you.
Well, and I think the message to the listeners here is when you go and you get yourself diagnosed and you find out that you or a loved one has cancer of one sort or another, they usually will send you along a path and say, okay, here's your next step. And they tell you what's going to happen. And they tell you, the doctor,
tell you when you're going to die.
More or less. Yeah, they'll tell you, well, this is your situation and you got, this much time or whatever. The truth is, you have these choices, and there are lots of doctors in lots of areas, and there's integrative oncologists, and there's medical oncologists and radio oncologists, and there's all these different types of doctors that you have the opportunity to research, look up, find out if your insurance covers them, go make a consultation appointment, always get copies of everything you do. If you get a scan, get that scan. If you get a test, get those test results so you can hand them to the doctor and say, hey, here's where I am. It's your job to take care of yourself. These doctors are not going to do it for you. They'll help you and they'll do the best they can, but you can make it better or worse. When I went to that ENT and I opened up my little folder and I go, here's my blood work. Here's my PET CT scan. Here's my MRI. His eyes got big. He's like, wow, you're really prepared. I go, oh, I want to make the best of this appointment, and he was able to give me more for his time than had I not brought those things. And I just think that for all the listeners, I understand where you're at. You're lost. You don't know what to do. You're afraid. You're paralyzed. All those things that happen, but you don't have to be. And our call that we have with Dr. Hoffman every Sunday at 4:00 Pacific time is a place where you can come, and there'll be anywhere from 15 to 50 people that all have a shared experience of cancer and solving it, and all the different ways and different tools and different doctors. And you can come and bring your story to this call. You can be totally anonymous if you want. And I guarantee you will find some information that will help you. And I would highly encourage all of our listeners to consider that. The link to the call is right there in the show notes of every podcast, and all you got to do is click the button. Now, I want to switch gears a little bit, Robert. We talk about your research. You spent almost 60 years in the lab doing research on cancer, specifically methionine and cancer's relationship and cancer's addiction to methionine. And that's the bulk of your work is centered around that, which is such a powerful premise, and yet it hasn't been widely accepted. And those of us who have benefited from it can't understand why the whole world doesn't know about it. But we're here to help bring that information. But you had recently brought to our attention a paper that was just published, and your comments about it was this is overhyped. And I want to talk a little bit about research publications and the importance of the source and the importance of the message, and how to kind of consider this information as it comes through. Because you'll see an article on social media all the time and say, "Oh, look, we have a new treatment, a new cure. It's promising. It's doing this. It's doing that." All these claims, and then you look up and you read the little thing, and it's generally not a scientific publication, but some opinion article that might reference a medical journal publication or a PubMed article, but it's usually talking about that, not the actual conversation. Why don't you tell us a little bit about, how to navigate that? Because if you listen to what everybody's saying, you'd think cancer's already cured.
Okay, Joe, this is a really important point. So the hottest thing now is this drug. It's unpronounceable, darexrasib, DARAXONRASIB. I'm going to call it DAR.
There you go.
I'm going to call it DAX.
All right.
Okay, that's the cure for pancreatic cancer. I went to the post office like I do every Saturday, and Blanca waited on me, the nicest lady you can imagine. And she says, "Oh, I hear there's a pill going to cure pancreatic cancer. My mom had pancreatic cancer. Oh, isn't that wonderful? Oh, my God." Uh-oh. I went,
Yeah, you went dark, but it's okay. I can hear you fine.
"Oh, wait a minute, Joe.
All right, no worries.
Wait. Okay.
There you go. You're
back. That's what's going around. We got the cure for pancreatic cancer.
Which, by the way, is a very aggressive and very deadly cancer that many people do not survive.
It's one of the two most terrible. That and glioma, I think, or maybe bile duct.
It's bad news.
Bad news. All right. So whenever I hear all this stuff, I try to get to the original literature. So here's the new paper, came out a couple weeks ago. This is the New England Journal of Medicine.
Got it.
The ultimate. This is the gold standard. It's considered. This journal started in about 1840, or I don't know. So it's the gold standard. And it's daraxonrasib, we'll call DAX, or chemotherapy in previously treated metastatic pancreatic cancer. This is the original study. All right. So let's just take a little look. And I don't, all this blah, 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 blah. I go right to the survival curve.
All right.
Okay. That's what you do with these clinical trials. You just get to the end of the damn paper. All right. So these are the survival curves, okay? The blue is DAX, and the black is regular chemo, whatever, doctor's choice. And this is over 1 year.
Okay.
And as you see, everybody's dying, but the ones on DAX die slower.
Right.
You can see blue is
It's
DAX.
a similar curve. It's just a little bit.
Yeah, up a little, up a little.
Yeah, yeah.
You wait for me. Wait, I'll tell you. All right. So in the end, let's see, what's the number? This is here. The survival on DAX was 13.2 months.
Okay.
And on the regular chemo, 6.6.
All right.
All right. So, okay. I mean, the world doesn't change but still 7 months is
Yeah,
something.
5 to 7 months, it sounds like.
Okay. But let me tell you another thing. So I read one of the former senators, Senator Sassy or wherever, one of those states in the middle, Nebraska or whatever.
All right.
And he has pancreatic cancer. He's on this drug. He has whole body bleeding rashes.
Oh, no.
And the interviewing person said, well, how do you feel, Senator? And he said, better than I should. What a comment. I mean, the guy's,
Yeah.
he's brave. Okay. All right. So these are survival curves, Joe. This is every time somebody dies, there's a little tick and it goes
Right.
down and down and down. Tick, 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 tick. All right. But what you don't see and what nobody's talking about is the next figure. And this is called progression-free survival.
Okay.
How long you can survive without the tumor coming back and doing whatever it does. Okay.
Right.
A little different. See, at the end, the two curves meet.
Oh, yeah. It doesn't, it's,
The blue and the black, and one is a little subset of the other. Doesn't matter. But you see,
Yeah.
they meet.
yeah.
So that means at the end of 1 year, everyone who survived
Got it back.
cancer progression. Everyone. This is only 1 little year. And
Wow.
if you have pancreatic cancer and the damn thing is growing and you're out of chemo options, they're telling you to go to hospice. Okay, everybody down at this end, go to hospice. Okay, they don't show you this curve. So here's a trade letter. It's called the cancer letter. I know this letter since it's been in inception in 1973, and I know this. I know this. The current publisher. I know him a good part of that time, most of that time. Look what he puts on the front cover. Look which curve he puts on the front cover.
Right. The good one. Yeah.
He doesn't put progression-free survival. He
Right.
puts survival, and that's the headline of the cover. Oh boy! Oh boy! Let me read you some quotes. This hype. This is the greatest thing in cancer since, I don't know, since sliced bread, something. Okay, so here's they're quoting an oncologist. But and then they show the presentation at the big cancer meeting called ASCO. The guy got a 43-second standing O. And look at the curves they show. Look at the curves. They show figure 2. They don't show figure 3. They just show figure 2 here. And he got a standing O. Okay.
From doctors who know better.
They don't know better. This guy wants
they
to
have
be the king. He's the king. His name is Brian Wolpin. He wants to be the king. That's what he wants to be. And okay, I understand that. All right. So let's get a quote for figure 2, the survival, not the progression free.
Right.
Okay, here's a oncologist. What's her name? All right. She's quoted here. All right. Her name is Dr. Knox. What's her first name? She's from the University of Toronto. Okay, so here's Dr. Knox. I'm trying to find her first name here. Okay, give me 5. Jennifer Knox with a K, Knox.
Okay.
All right. So they quote her here. Here's the quote I like. Let's see. Dr. Knox. I'm going to quote Dr. Jennifer Knox of Princess Margaret Hospital in Toronto,
All right.
known by people in Toronto as Trana. I'm from Buffalo, so I know about Trana. Here's what she says about the survival curve, figure 2. Okay, listen to this. It's an absolutely beautiful curve. Look at it. General Jennifer Knox, a medical oncologist at the Princess Margaret Cancer Center, professor of medicine. The curves separate early. They get wider with time. I don't think this ever been seen in pancreatic cancer. It's beautiful. She doesn't let us understand that every time that curve moves down, somebody dies. It's an absolutely beautiful curve, she says. That's which makes the headline in this which is figure 2 in the New England Journal.
Right.
Now, it just so happens in this trade letter, which is the head story, is this daxoranirol, DAX, we call it. It's the greatest thing, but not a peep. Nobody's showing these curves, which are the progression-free survival, which shows after 1 year, everybody's either dead or the
Or it
cancers
comes back.
come back and with vengeance, and they're going to die in a few more months. They
Well,
don't
you know,
show you that. So
I noticed was in this paper, they talk about the comparison of the adverse events, the side effects.
not to great detail. They just say, yeah, there's a lot of side effects. They
But,
don't
but
say
it
anything.
does a line side by side, and this
No,
new
they
drug,
talk about it. They talk about it, but they don't tell you what the patient tells you. The
right?
patient, Senator Sassy said, I have a bleeding rash all over my body.
Yeah.
That's not even in the New
Oh,
England
it just
Journal.
mentions rash. It doesn't say how bad the rash is, but
No, he says it's a bleeding rash. And how are you, Senator? And he goes,
right,
better than I should be.
right, right.
So, you know, let's see what they say here about the side effects.
Yeah, it's on page 11, no,
Page
10.
Okay, page 10.
Just after the graph that showed that you were talking about
Yeah.
is the next page.
Okay, yeah, there it is. And the first one they list is rash.
Yes. And it's 206
Yeah,
over 12
exactly.
chemo only.
And they don't tell you how bad. It's not like, oh, I got a little itch here.
Right. Exactly.
Whole body bleeding rash. That's what's so great about our cancer patient Zoom. You
Right.
get the real information from the cancer patient, not even in the New England Journal. You get it from the cancer patient.
People that are going through it are telling you about it. That's
No. The only real truth tellers
right.
in the whole field.
Exactly.
It isn't the docs, it isn't the scientists. They all have an axe to grind, including
Nobody's making money off of it. We're just telling
not every money, fame, whatever. There's a million things.
Just trying to stay alive.
The cancer patient has no axe to grind. She are telling you how it is.
Yes.
How it is.
Exactly.
It says here rash. Oh, isn't that nice? We got rash. Oh, that's not so bad. A little rash. Worry about a rash. Well, when it's a whole body bleeding rash, yeah.
That's
So
a little
what are we
problem. Yeah.
doing here? What are we doing with this miracle drug? We go to progression-free survival. We're all going to die after 1 year, a little bit more, and we have to go through this hell to get there. So I don't say that this isn't progress. It's progress. But if I were to make a bet, Joe, and unfortunately, this is a hypothesis we can't disprove or prove at the moment, but I would say if we put these same patients on methionine, a low methionine diet, just a diet,
Right.
not even the methionine, just a diet, the curves would be better, maybe even a lot better. Of course, some are going to die, maybe even most will die, but I'm betting they'll be better.
Yeah.
And
I
these
would
are
have
the
to agree
curves
with
that
you.
count. The progression-free survival curve. These are what counts.
Right.
Not you're surviving. You're surviving means you could be in the hospital bed and you're comatose. You're surviving.
Exactly. Right. You're alive. Right. Yeah.
So this survival curve isn't really fair.
Agreed.
Progression-free survival. This is
Yeah.
the real deal. And did that make the headline in the trade rag?
Lost your.
I'm off again. Gosh darn it.
Oh, you're okay. Just click that
Oh,
button.
wait a minute, Joe. I'm getting a little better at this.
Yeah. Just click that button. You'll be back.
Oh shit. Oh, sorry for the
It's
French.
okay.
So all this hype and it doesn't stop there. No. It doesn't stop there. So then we talk about how many clinical trials. They're all targeting this one gene called RAS, and RAS has been the gene of pancreatic cancer for 45, 6, 7 years. NCI that's a National Cancer Institute, has a RAS initiative. They list all the RAS trials. I think there's about 90 of them. Ooh, trial after trial after trial, they're listing. Yeah, this Jennifer, she's the cheerleader now. The one who says the curve is so beautiful.
Right.
So there's probably 90 or 100 or whatever. There's a ton of trials. Of course, the pharma industry all copy each other.
Right.
Oh, absolutely. It's worse than women's fashion. They copy each other. You know, when I was coming up, all cancers were caused by viruses. So we had, which turned out to be 99.99% wrong.
But I got the 0.1.
Yeah. Well, yours is associated with.
Right. Correct.
And maybe
Yeah, we don't know that.
It's involved in the cause, but everybody has HPV all over the place.
Exactly, and not everybody gets what I got.
They don't all get squamous cell carcinoma.
Agreed.
It may make you more susceptible. It's not the cause.
Yeah.
Anyway, so everybody's now, all the pharma companies are going to have Me Too drugs that look like this one.
Right.
That's what we call them, Me Too drugs. They're going to be so much Me Tooing that you'll be just Me Tooing to death. The Me Tooing. So that's what's going to be.
Over something that is very limited. If
It's a step, but I'm not sure it's in the right direction, Joe.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to get much further than they've gotten. They can have all the trials and put all these little changes into the drugs. I don't think they're going to get much further because I don't think the RAS gene, is really central to these pancreatic cancer. I think it's peripheral.
Right.
It has some effect, but it's not central.
Well,
it's not like an addiction.
The problem with all of this, they observe things and they see this happen and they see that happen. And they're so quick to correlate these things when they don't belong necessarily.
Okay, you bring your car into the shop.
Right.
And it's, hey, I'm going to give you better tires.
Yeah.
You're going to be able to go faster
Right.
because I'm giving you better tires.
Yeah.
I'm not giving you a new engine. I'm
Right.
giving you better tires, and you're going to go faster, and you probably will.
Right.
So this RAS gene is peripheral.
Yeah.
It has some effect, and
Right.
you
But it's certainly not the
block
cause.
it with these kind of drugs, and they're very clever drugs.
Yeah.
Very clever chemistry that block the RAS protein coded by the RAS gene. Very clever, very, very, very clever, what they call medicinal chemistry. These chemists are really, they're geniuses, but they're not on the central track.
Right.
They're it's a better set of tires. It's going to work a little better.
Yeah.
It ain't the engine.
Right.
So that's why you see some effect. Oh, these cancers are all driven by RAS. RAS is the driver.
Right.
And I say, well, who's
It's like the glucose,
You know,
Warburg effect. It's the same.
the vote. So that's where we are now. This will last about 3 or 4 years, around, if that long, and then there's going to be another huge discovery, and
Right.
Jennifer will come out and say, "Oh, the curves are so beautiful."
Right. Right.
And actually, she gets her own little box. I didn't notice it.
Right.
Here it is. Here's Jennifer's box.
There you go. Wow.
It's an absolutely beautiful curve. Look at it. The curves separate early. They get wider with time. I don't think this has ever been seen in pancreatic cancer, says Jennifer.
Wow.
That's the hype.
Well, I'd like to talk.
And survival curve. And as we said, I'm comatose sitting in the bed and I'm unconscious.
Right.
I'm a survivor.
Right.
I count as a
Making it
survivor.
look better, even if you're just barely alive, and that's a big
It's the
deal.
precaution-free survival. Figure
Right.
C, where at 1 year, the two curves, bing.
Right. Well, that's where I wanted to transition this conversation briefly into a topic that we'll just touch on, but it's really important to me because it's where I am right now. And people talk about cure all the time. They use that word with cancer, and it doesn't belong there. There's people say, I cured cancer, I cured my cancer. This cancer's been, even when they say resolved, it's like, okay, well, maybe at this moment that it's not presently able to be detected, but that doesn't mean it's not there. And we were talking on the last meeting, you mentioned a word that I thought was really important. And you were saying, you don't cure it, you manage it.
Manage it, that's a good word. Control it is another word.
Yeah.
Do we cure diabetes?
Right.
No. We manage it, we control it.
Yeah.
Okay. We can live almost a normal life.
Right.
I think should be possible with most of the cancers. I think we're not there yet, but we're getting there. We got this guy, Bob Gattenby, saying, hey, with adaptive therapy of prostate cancer, nobody's going to die anymore. That's a pretty big statement, but I think he's in the right direction. It's all about control. It's all about managing.
Exactly.
It's all about staying ahead of it. And this cure thing, one of my patients, I don't want to stay on the methionine-free diet. My PSA is so low. I'm so good. Oy. How long I got to stay on this diet? All my life. Oh, no. But it's true. You get cancer, there's no way you're going to eliminate all the cancer cells. No way. And so you've got to be diligent. Some of these poor ladies with breast cancer, the damn thing comes back after 25 or more years.
Right.
It's sitting there dormant, kind of chewing blood, whatever.
Yeah.
And there it is.
Yeah.
There it is. And you know, even if you're, you know, one of our patients on the Zoom, oh yeah, I'm cancer free now. Now I'm going to concentrate on not getting a second cancer.
Right.
And I get it. Yeah, nobody wants a second cancer. And I said, you better make sure about the first one and go to
Right.
get a methionine PET. Make sure, or as
Right.
far as you can. Even methionine PET has a detection limit, but it's the
Right.
best we know.
Exactly. You can
It's the
only
best
be
we
certain.
know, and
Right.
it's functional. It's not just looking for a piece of meat somewhere. It's
Right.
looking for a tissues that's taking up abnormal amounts of
Reaction.
methionine.
Yeah.
And there's nothing better than that. What we know right now.
Right. Agreed.
Oy.
I think that if you were to summarize your hope, if you get cancer and you, let's just say for intensive purposes, beat it, meaning that you make it to a place.
It's okay. The real good word is what you said: manage it, control it.
Right. Well, and again, what my goal is to die from something other than cancer.
Yeah, and that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, and that's it. That's the rest of my life.
Like,
The goal is to die from something else, and I don't know what it'll be, but it's not going to be that cancer.
old age. Die from very, very, very old age.
Yep.
You're 103, and it's kind of everything's worn out. Okay.
Fair enough.
We can
got a good run. Yeah.
We can deal with it.
Yeah. No, I agree. Well, Robert, as always, this has been fascinating, and I really think that we're getting more listeners. I'm starting to find new ways to reach new people. And I think as they hear these things, again, I always try to make sure everybody knows 4:00 Sunday afternoon, every week, Pacific time. We got this great Zoom call that's going to be worth a million times more than these podcasts, because you have real live access to all the information, literally on the planet.
All the information comes from the cancer patients.
Exactly. And it's coming to you live
the
in real
truth,
time.
because
Yes.
that's all that's important to them is the truth.
And a decent chunk of these guys are doctors. I mean, it's not just,
the doctor doesn't have cancer.
No, but I'm saying these doctors
on our Zoom, they have cancer.
They have cancer.
How are they different?
And they're fighting it, and they're beating it, and they have access to the highest information, the best resources, and they're going after it in ways that, the normal.
They're sharing it, and they're experimenting on themselves.
Exactly, just like I did. We're all the guinea pig that says, well, it might work, it might not, but it probably won't hurt me. So let's go after it.
Yeah. So, Joe, I want to leave it with this.
Sure.
For the cancer patient. If your oncologist will not listen to you, will not give you what you want, and what you want is within legality, and will not give you what you want, just keep going and trying to find another one and another one and another one, because the usual oncologist is going to say, I know best. This is what you're going to get. This is the guideline. And you fail that, they give you, this is what you get when you fail. And you fail that, and they'll say, well, I know this clinical trial, you can go on that. And then if you fail that, well, I know a real nice hospice, you got 2 months to live.
Exactly.
That's what's the usual course for the patient that has metastatic cancer. That's the usual course. First line therapy under the guidelines, second line therapy under the guidelines, maybe a clinical trial, and then hospice, and then they tell you when you're going to die, and you almost always die when they tell you, because you lose your spirit.
Exactly.
You lose your life spirit. These oncologists, they take away your life spirit when they give up.
Yes.
That's all I have. Nothing more. I don't have any more. You're going to die. It's not, hey, maybe there's some more out there.
Exactly.
No. That's all I have. And you're going to die in 2 months. See ya. The hospice is down the road. That's the usual. And I tell the cancer patient, it may take you a while, but try to find somebody
Yeah.
that isn't like that. I don't know. I mean, we know Dr. Song. I can't tell you another one unless
Right.
you want to go to Japan. I can't. I can't. I would say
They're out there.
Dr. Castro too. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
right there, right in there. But those are the only two guys I know in America.
Yeah.
And stay away from the big cancer centers. They are the worst
Yeah.
because they stay right on the guideline. Their goal is not the cancer patient. Their goal is to make money and become famous for clinical trials for new drugs. Oh yeah, we're testing the newest and the bestest, and that's what they want. And everybody's going to be famous and invited to the meetings and give the big talks and get the standing ovation and all that crap. And the cancer patient is way down the priority list. That's the big cancer centers.
Well,
And all these guys, they're consultants for 1,400 companies. They're prescribing the drug that they're selling the drugs that they prescribe. It's the cancer,
shameful.
the worst enemy of the cancer patient are these kind of oncologists.
Agreed. Agreed. Well, Robert, as always, you've got such a wealth of good information, and you know, I can't express enough, and I'll keep telling you whether you want to hear it or not. I know that had I not met you, I might not be sitting here today the way I am.
Well,
And
I can say if I hadn't met you, I wouldn't know a whole lot that I learned from you and what is possible. And and the main part of what made it happen, Joe, is your personality.
there you go.
Your personality that is saying this ain't gonna beat me.
Don't. I want to live.
I
And
want
that's
to live.
it. Remember that.
I want to live. This should be the mantra. I talked to a lady yesterday. She's going to come over on Thursday.
All right.
And I told her that how much it cost to produce a methionation. She whined, didn't whine. And, okay. And then at the end of the call, she said, Doc, I'm young. I want to live.
There you go.
That's what she said.
Well,
so I don't know if that will overcome the money or not overcome the money. I don't know.
I would be glad to talk to her if you think it might do any good.
Well, I'm hoping to get her on
Get her on the call. That's always
on the Zoom call. I hope. I don't know. I don't know. She's coming down with her husband.
All right. Well, we'll see what happens. But I'm
Yeah.
I'm here to help any way I can.
Thank you, Joe.
Well, Robert, it's been an absolute pleasure, and I want to thank all of our listeners for making this show possible. And we will see you next time.
Glad to be here, Joe. Thank you for having me.
You betcha.
This has been another episode of the Healthy Living Podcast. We produce this show so that people can share their stories, people that have overcome obstacles, people that are undergoing obstacles. We're building a community of health-minded individuals. If you're interested in supporting the show, please leave a review on the platform you're listening to it on. If you're interested in becoming a guest, please send an email to itsjoegrumbine@gmail.com, or you can send a note into the notes section of the podcast. All right. Well, thank you for supporting this show, and we hope you've enjoyed it.